Jason in Dumont, New Jersey. You think I don't like Republicans, Jason? Really?
Well, the way you've been talking about Republicans when it comes to the Affordable Health Care Act, it's almost as if you're vilifying them. And
Sure,
you're not
I am.
the only one to blame for it. And I'm calling it as a moderate, and I can't.
What does moderate mean, Jason? I've never met a moderate. What makes you a moderate?
Well, I have some liberal ideas. I agree with some liberal ideas and some conservative ideas.
Okay. For example?
For example, I am very pro-gun, I guess the word would be.
So you think everybody should be able to own a shoulder-fired rocket launcher?
That's where I'm a bit more in the middle of the road. I am all for everybody who is able to, pass the checks and pass tests, being able to own a handgun or a hunting rifle, but I don't see the purpose in anything more than that. Then
you agree with me on guns. The weapons of war should not be in the hands of civilians.
Right.
Okay, then according to the Republican Party, you are not pro-gun, you are anti-gun.
But in general, it seems that,
You said, why am I vilifying Republicans? I mean, you're now, by Republican standards, you are a turncoat. You said you described that as a conservative position. I'm a sports shooter. I'm all in favor of people being able to own sports shooting weapons, hunting weapons, and self-defense weapons. But I don't see where weapons of war fit into that category. I don't see where anybody needs an AR-14.
Also, I don't jump at the idea of, forcing people to say under God when saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Maybe,
Well, it wasn't even added until 1954 or 56 or something like that as a sop to demagogue Republicans who thought that they would. I mean, it wasn't there for a long, long time. But okay, so those are so.
It seems like what you're saying is all Republicans only want an elitist America, and I can't wrap my head around that because even a third grader can realize that would never work.
Okay, well, I've never used those words to the best of my knowledge, but here's a question I would put to you, Jason. What legislation have Republicans in the last 50 years originated, championed, and passed that helps the average working person? I can give you a long list that help corporations and help billionaires, but that would help the average working American. Can you name one?
I really can't, but I can't believe that all Republicans are evil.
I'm not talking about evil. If you want my characterization of Republicans, it's not good or evil. It's that the Republican Party is the party of the rich, the wealthy, and the corporate, and including the transnational corporate. Not even American corporate. I mean, Nancy Pelosi passed a piece of legislation when she was Speaker of the House that said that no longer could you have a tax break for taking apart an American factory and shipping it over to China. We actually pay companies to do that, with our tax dollars, the tax dollars that you and I pay in. Mitt Romney did it with Sensata, and in fact, during the election, and sent over 100 jobs over to China, and he got a tax break for it. He got money from us to do that. She passed a law saying we're not going to do that anymore. Republicans in the Senate filibustered it. They want transnational corporations to be able. This is why we've lost 50,000 factories, not 50,000 jobs, 50,000 factories just since George Bush became president, the most recent Bush. And we've lost a lot more than that since Reagan. And, trying to reverse that kind of legislation, Republicans that will have nothing to do with it. The Democrats are all for it. I can give you a long list of things that Democrats have done that have helped the average person, from health care reform to the stimulus to Wall Street reform to the ending the Iraq War to drawing down the Afghanistan war to getting bin Laden to saving the auto industry to stopping a depression to improve our image abroad. I mean, this is a great list over here. It's a DU, but I think it's going viral over on Facebook. Dramatically cut oil imports. Heavily invested in renewable technology, increased support for veterans, passed credit card reform, improved safety, food safety programs, school nutrition, expanded hate crimes protections, advanced women's rights, got an agreement with Iran on nuclear weapons, got an agreement with Syria on chemical weapons, avoided going to war, cut the deficit. By the way, all of these things opposed by Republicans. Can you please tell me, you say I'm vilifying Republicans, I would love to praise Republicans. The last thing that I can think of that's praiseworthy of the Republicans was, and I mentioned this, last week, was in 1986 when Ronald Reagan put Charles Keating in prison. He went after not all of them. He didn't go after Neil Bush because he was his vice president's son, even though he'd made $1 million on the SNL debacle. But, he put, I believe, about 600 of those banksters in prison in 1986. As a consequence, he had deregulated the SNLs in 83, huge mistake, and it let the predators in, and they crashed the system in 86. And so he fully nationalized the SNLs, totally screwed the stockholders. They all ended up owning nothing. The federal government took over all the SNLs, and then over the next 20 years, William Seidman, a good Republican from Grand Rapids, reprivatized them, showed a profit to the government. Reagan did it right. We should have George W. Bush should have done the same thing in 2008. He didn't. But Reagan did one good thing right. And I'm sure he did other good things right too. But I can't think of anything that the Republican Party has done in the last 15 or 20 years that's worth praising. If you can give me one, Jason, I'll change my tune.
You make a lot of good points. I guess my last question would be, how can I, someone who works 2 jobs and go to school, deal with the adequate research?
Well, you shouldn't have to work 2 jobs and go to school. The Democrats would like you to go to school for free and get enough pay that you can work 1 job. The Republicans think it's cool that you're working 2 jobs.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
Remember during the campaign, George W. Bush had that woman, she had 3 jobs. He says, isn't that cute? That's the American way. No, it's not. Jason, thanks for the call.